I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream, and welcome to all your latest Chelsea news and, of course, the preview for tonight's game against Leeds. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you're smashing the like, subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff. Get involved in the chat, guys. Really want to hear your opinions on the topics for today's show. And we have got a bit of transfer news to go through, and, of course, the tonight's game against Leeds, where we could make it 5 Premier League wins in a row, which would be a great achievement regardless of the level of opposition that we've played on this run so far. But we've got loads to dive into, chat, loads to dive into. Chelsea are among the clubs monitoring Bournemouth attacker Eli Junior Kroupi. We're going to dive into that. The 19-year-old having a very good season with Bournemouth, and I'm pretty sure we were linked with him before he joined Bournemouth when he was at Lorient, I think, in Liga. There's also reported interest in a move to sign Tromso central defender Sedi Kinteh from the Norwegian side after missing out on Jeremy Jacquet. Never heard of this geezer before, and it would just be easier to promote an academy player. That would make more sense. But hey, that's where we are. Plus, we'll look ahead to the Leeds game. We'll go through the lineup, discuss the game, discuss what it means for the season, the fact that we need revenge after Leeds mocked us at Ellen Road. They did us at Ellen Road, and we need to seek retribution. This is a historic rivalry in English football, and we can't let that slide. There's got to be payback and punishment for Leeds for what they did to us up at Ellen Road in December. So yeah. Lots to get into, chat. Lots to get into. But before we get cracking, just a quick reminder, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description, guys. Make sure you use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Loads of retro kits, Chelsea kits, international kits, other club kits, whatever you want to get your hands on the website, guys. Great quality, affordable prices, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Link is in the description, so make sure you go and check it out and go and show the guys some love, people. Anyway, that's enough about that. Let's see what you lot are saying in the chat, and then we're going to get cracking. Big up to you, brother. Top 4 or 5 will always be the aim of this ownership. It's very hard to disagree. Interest in a defender from Tromso, and some fans still believe in this project. It's very hard to believe in the project, regardless of these links to these players or whatever it might be. Just full stop. It's very difficult to believe in the project right now. It really is. Yes, afternoon, bro. I hope you're doing well. If anyone in this fan base still believes in the ownership is absolutely deluded at this point, yeah, it's very hard to disagree with that. Very hard to disagree with that. Yes, big up to you, brother. Hope you're well. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. So rubbish that you're here to come and tell me it's rubbish. So thank you, brother. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everything's all right with you, bro. Maybe you're having a bad day. I don't know what's going on. Hope everything's okay. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. We need to play our strongest lineup. Be ready for teams above us who might slip up. Bro, we don't need to worry about what anyone else is doing. We just got to keep picking up the W's, and what will be, will be. That's all we can do. Make sure that we keep putting the points on the board, and then whatever anyone else does is, to a certain extent, irrelevant. We just got to bang the points on the board. 5 wins in a row would be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. And something that I can't remember the last time we did that. We definitely won 4 in a row under Maresca once during his time here. But the last time Chelsea won 5 Premier League games in a row, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, chat, when we last won 5 Premier League games in a row. But that is what we could well do tonight. But unfortunately, chat, remember our last run of good form ended with a defeat against Leeds. Hopefully that is not going to be the same today. We won 5 in a row under Poch, did we? Oh, yeah, maybe towards the end of the season, we might have won our last 5 games. Yeah, perhaps towards the end of the season, we did. Perhaps towards the end of the season, we did. I can't remember. But, yeah, obviously, we are in a situation where we can make it 5 wins in a row. Burnley would be 6 wins in a row as well, heading into the Arsenal game. But, yeah, we hit some good form at the end of that Poch season. I think we did win our last 5 games, or we won 5 of the last 6. whatever it was. Yeah, we got 4 in a row of Maresca last year, but I don't think that was 5 in a row, though. I don't think that was 5 in a row. Anyway, we're going to get to the Leeds game, but let's dive into a little bit of transfer news because Chelsea are amongst a number of clubs who are reportedly considering or reportedly looking at Eli Junior Kroupi. Chelsea, alongside the likes of Real Madrid and Liverpool, have deployed their scouts to monitor the rapid development of Bournemouth attacker Eli Junior Kroupi. Now, Kroupi arrived from Bournemouth, I think, from Lorient in the summer. Bournemouth are plotting a blockbuster new contract for teenage sensation Eli Junior Kroupi as Europe's elite circle. Chelsea, Real Madrid, PSG, and Liverpool are all tracking the 19-year-old after a stunning breakout season on the South Coast. Cherries Chiefs believe they have struck gold once again with the French wonder kid who has smashed in 8 league goals in his debut campaign. Numbers that have sent scouts scrambling for their notebooks. Bournemouth beat off fierce competition from West Ham, Real Madrid, Spurs, and Leipzig to land Kroupi from Lorient in February last year, before agreeing a loan deal that kept him in France for the rest of the season. I didn't realise that. The forward officially arrived last summer and has barely looked back. Kroupi has already announced himself in style by firing 22 goals as Lorient stormed to the Ligue 2 title and sealed promotion to Ligue 1. Sunsport understands Bournemouth insiders believe Kroupi could become the club's first ever £80 million player, with his value soaring by the week. Talks have already begun over a new deal, similar to the improved contract offered to Antoine Semenyo. Bournemouth paid just £10 million for Kroupi last year, but are well aware that Chelsea and Real Madrid have dispatched regular scouts to monitor his development ahead of the summer. He's 8 strikes. He's got 8 strikes. Yeah. So 8 goals in 20 games this season. Still just 19. Kroupi comes from strong footballing bloodline. His father is former Ivory Coast striker Eli Kroupi, who enjoyed a career in Ligue 1. And if his son's scorching form continues, yet boring. Right. So look, Chelsea have dispatched scouts along with many other top European sides to look at Junior Kroupi. And we discussed, obviously, Julian Alvarez yesterday, which we came to the unanimous consensus that was very unlikely to happen. This is a situation that you could definitely see happening. By the way, sending scouts to watch a player does not mean you're going to sign a player. There's a number of steps that need to be reached before that does happen. But this, if you're asking me what sort of the sorts of signings that Chelsea might make, then this is absolutely the kind of deal that you would 100% see Chelsea capable of pulling off. You would see Chelsea capable of doing. This is the sort of thing that we would do without a shadow of a doubt. The type of player, the profile, the age. But look, you know that the likes of Real Madrid, you know that Paris Saint-Germain, you could look, if a top French club comes in, you're a young Frenchman, that's going to have serious appeal, going to play for Paris Saint-Germain. Real Madrid as well. How many players can say no to Real Madrid? Very rarely, when Real Madrid are interested, does a player say no to Real Madrid. So, look, Chelsea are looking for another attacker. We know that we've obviously got Quenda and Omega arriving in the summer, but, it's been reported by reliable people as well that Chelsea are looking for another attacker on top of those two in Quenda and Omega who are arriving in the summer. So, yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what we're looking for. Are we looking for a winger? Are we looking for a versatile forward? Are we looking... I don't know. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? What type of player are we looking for? What type of forward are we looking for? Are we looking for a centre forward? Are we looking for a left or right winger? Are we looking for a number 10? Are we looking for someone who can play all of those positions? I don't know. Yeah, bro, I hear it as well. And there's always that gamble. There's always that gamble when someone comes in and you look at what they're doing and you look at the rise and you sort of think, oh shit, is this coming way too soon? Is this coming way too soon? We've already signed players like Delap, maybe Gittins to a lesser extent, but where this caliber of move to Chelsea has come way too soon. It's come way sooner than they're ready for in their careers. And this with Kroupi Jr. would perhaps feel like something very similar. It would perhaps feel like something very similar. But again, look, he's cost an absolute fortune. I think we need to be spending our money elsewhere, i.e., mainly on a centre back. And if we can get someone to play on the left wing as well, I know Kroupi Jr. could play left side, but yeah, we really need a centre back. He's 19 years of age. There's no way we're getting him. We have no pull if other big teams come in for him. Yeah, I hear it. You know, look, if PSG and Real Madrid genuinely want him, I would find it very, very hard to believe that Chelsea would have any chance whatsoever of attracting this guy. I just don't see it. I just do not see it at all. But again, at the end of the day, you do never know. You do never know, chat. But this is the kind of player that you would look at going for. Yeah, we were linked with him before. You know, we have been linked before. But again, you know, anything can happen. Who knows? And look, you know, he could have a poor end to the season, and no one's really looking at him in the summer. All these things are distinctly viable possibilities. All these things are distinctly viable possibilities, chap. You know, they really are. Are we really getting a centre back? No, bro. I think we are getting a centre back because I would expect Tosin and Badiashile to both leave. Maybe even Chalobah as well. I expect at least 2 centre backs to leave, maybe even 3. If we don't sign a centre back, it would be very, very strange. It would be very strange because I don't see Tosin and Badiashile leaving, which is likely, and then they just say, right, we'll replace them with Sarr and Anselmino, or Sarr and whoever else. You know, I think for sure a centre back is arriving. If you're asking me what I think the most likely player to arrive in the summer is, it's a centre back. It has to be. I think, like we saw with the attack last summer, how there was a complete revamp. I think in regards to centre backs, there's going to be a similar level of revamp in the centre back department as there was in the attack last season. That's the level I think we're going to be seeing. That's the level I think we're going to be seeing this summer in regards to our centre backs. Now, whether we sign proven quality and established quality centre backs remains to be seen. But our centre back department needs a major revamp. It definitely needs a major revamp, this centre back department, because there are way too many average players in there. There's not a real standout, world-class, top-class centre back. We've got 2 coming in. Well, you've got what? Anselmino coming back. And Mamadou Sarr's arrived. But there's no guarantees. I'm not including Disasi, by the way. But, you know, there's no guarantees that Anselmino and Sarr are both part of the squad next season. I think Sarr will be part of the squad, but I don't think Anselmino will be part of the squad next season. I don't believe that to be the case at all. I don't believe that to be the case at all. I don't think Anselmino will be part of the squad at all, chap. I really don't. Yeah, I would be more than happy to keep Chalobah as a squad player, 3rd or 4th choice. More than capable of doing the job, more than capable of performing to a level that we require. But he has got 2 years left on his contract, meaning that if he's going to stay, then a new deal needs to be offered this summer. And this is what I'm talking about, chat. When you've got a number of players with 2 years left on their deals in the summer, what are you going to do? Reece James, 2 years left in the summer. Cucurella, 2 years left in the summer. Chalobah, 2 years left. Tosin, 2 years left. I don't know how many years Badiashile's got left, but that's 4 players there who are at the 2 years left stage, and a decision has got to be made on their future. Are they being extended or are they leaving? So these are all things that we need to look at. These are all big decisions that need to be made before a single player has even arrived. You know, so we talk about how important it is to make the Champions League, and it absolutely is. But regardless of whether we do or don't, some big decisions at the football club need to be made this summer. Huge decisions need to be made. Huge decisions. The only midfielder I can see coming to the club is Barco, who's not good enough yet. I hear it, but he might not need to be good enough yet because I don't know what we're looking for. Are we looking for a starting quality midfield player or not? Or are we looking for a squad filler? Because if you're genuinely targeting Elliot Anderson or an Adam Wharton, those are starting quality, starting level players. So what are we looking for? Are we just looking for a squad player in midfield? Are we looking for someone who's better than Lavia? Are we looking for someone who's on a par, almost with an Enzo and a Caicedo? What are we looking for? Is a Wharton or a Anderson going to be happy being a rotation piece? No, I don't think they are going to be happy being a rotation piece. If those guys are leaving to take a step up, they're leaving to play regular football. They're 100% leaving to play regular football. And I don't see how Chelsea can offer regular football. I don't see it, chat. I honestly don't see it. No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Bro, we didn't renew Cucurella's Oh, you think we're going to renew them? Yeah. Reece, I think we will renew. I really want us to renew Cucurella, but I think, chat, that's got to be one that we need to be prepared to watch in the summer, because as much as we all know that Cucurella's contract should be extended, there's part of me that thinks his deal won't be extended. There's a genuine part of me that thinks that, and that for me would be a big mistake. Big mistake. Bro, we're not going to challenge for the title next season. That might sound defeatist before we've even seen the summer window, before we've even seen how this season has finished. But I'm telling you now, chat. For me, we're not gonna challenge for the title next season. Yeah, but are we only? Yeah, but the thing is, though, is a 3-man midfield, is that the long-term plan? Is that the long-term plan, or are we just going with that because we've got a lack of options in midfield? Sorry, in attack. So we're playing Enzo as a 10 and shifting Palmer to the right. You know, what does Rossini see Palmer as? A number 10, or does he see him as a right, or both? Because if you're going to play Enzo as a 10 and Palmer's going to play more on the right-hand side, then I hear it. A Wharton or an Anderson would be ahead of a Santos in the midfield, would be ahead of a Lavia potentially. But even then, though, if Lavia gets himself fit, I don't think a Wharton or an Elliot Anderson are better than Romeo Lavia. I don't believe that. I don't believe that a Wharton or an Anderson are better than a Lavia. I don't think they are. Both very good footballers, but Romeo Lavia, and it's a big if with his fitness, but if Lavia is fit and playing at his best, I don't see Anderson or Wharton as an upgrade on Lavia. Yeah, it's true. Cucurella, James and Trev, both 2 years left in the summer. All 3 of their contracts expiring in 2028, chat. Yes, big up to you, bro. Hope you're well. Yeah, and bro, I've been saying this for a while now. With this model and with this way of recruiting, we will not challenge for a Premier League title. That's it. That's it. You know, we won't. It's not possible. Bro, Anderson will play more football at City than he would at Chelsea, in my opinion. Anderson would go straight into that team. He's better than Nico Gonzalez, and he'll play alongside Rodri. He'll play alongside Rodri. But I've been saying Lavia's better than both of them. Lavia's better than both of them. And it's a big if, chap, but if you can get Lavia fit and playing his best football, let's be real, guys. That's basically, I'm not saying we shouldn't sign anyone. But what I'm saying is that if we can get Lavia back fully fit and firing, that's almost like a new signing, given how little he's featured. That is genuinely like a new signing, people. Genuinely like a new signing, which seems like a mental thing to say, but it's absolutely true. Fit Lavia doesn't bench Enzo because you can play Enzo as a 10. And I think that's something we might see a lot more of. I think that's something we might see a lot more of. Enzo 10, Palmer on the right, and then you've got others obviously drifting in. You've got others drifting in. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, chats, keep smashing the like button. We're 73 in the building, only 27 likes. So people, get this up to 50 likes as quickly as possible. Smash that like button. Run it up. Run it up. Palmer and Esteval, fine. You know, Palmer can play as a 10. Palmer can play right. You know, it's good to have options. You need options. You have to have options, because right now what we're seeing is that as soon as we have to rotate, there is a significant drop-off in our performances. Look at our performances, and every poor performance we've had has coincided with a heavily rotated side. Every performance, we've done a heavily rotated side. That's a problem. That is a problem. Let's not get it wrong. Igor Thiago is someone. Igor Thiago is another player who I think could well be on the move this summer. Having an exceptional season. Yeah, Esteval's ready to start tonight. Esteval's ready to start. Bro, the Enzo agenda needs to stop. We're not better with Enzo on the bench. We're just not. If you think we are, that's fine. That's your opinion. But it's factually incorrect that the team is better with Enzo on the bench. It's not. If you're saying to me the team is better balanced with a pivot behind Enzo, then yeah, I would agree. But respectfully, Enzo on the bench does not make Chelsea better. I have a good feeling about Omega, to be honest, with Quenda coming in also exciting. What four wingers? Yeah, but the problem is, though, bro, is that Quenda's got no experience. You know, expecting Quenda to come in and hit the ground running straight away is really unrealistic. It's really unrealistic. You know, he's going to need plenty of time to adapt. He's not going to go straight into the team. Yep, we'll be there. Well, this for me, I think this probably is last chance saloon for Lavia. This is probably his final opportunity. When he comes back, if he gets injured again, then there's a big problem. I'll be so real. There is a big problem if that is the case. There is a major problem. So yeah, we just got to hope, chat, that he comes back fit and firing. We just have to hope. Charlie, I believe if Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and PSG wants to play, they'll get them over us. Again, it depends on the circumstances. It depends on the player. But yeah, generally speaking, you would expect us to miss out to at least one of those clubs if said clubs are interested. But yeah, look, there's a lot of big decisions. Look, Kroupi Jr., I think, I'll be real, chat. I think in the summer, spending a shed load of money on him after one season in the Premier League, I think that would be a mistake. I think that we need a bigger sample size. I think we need a bigger sample size than just one season. You know, I don't know if you should be spending or thinking about spending serious money on a player. You know, that for me would not be the best use of funds for us when we need to address other situations. Yeah, I mean, look, never say never, by the way. Never say never. Because how many players have we seen signed one summer, gone the next? That is not out of the equation. That is not an impossibility whatsoever. That is very far away from being an impossibility. I think there's absolutely opportunities for that to happen. There's absolutely opportunities for that to happen. 100% there are. 100% chat. But yeah, look, again, I just wanted to bring up another quick little rumor that's done the rounds recently. Again, how true it is, I don't know, but this information's obviously come from somewhere. Chelsea are reportedly mulling over a move to sign Tromso central defender Sedi Kinteh after missing out on Jeremy Jacquet in the January transfer window. Now, let me try and find this article and give it a read. Chelsea Tromso defender. That should come up. Wonderful. That has come up. Here we are. So, Mail Sport. Why am I so far zoomed in? Why is that reading like that? Chelsea and Man United are following Tromso defensive prospect Sedi Kinteh. The rapid left-sided centre-back has attracted attention from a number of scouts from elite clubs across Europe after an impressive debut season in Norway. The Gambia international, who turned 19 in November, of course he did, moved there from an academy in Senegal called Mawada Wada. Apologies if I've mispronounced that, which has an alliance with Tromso. The Norwegian side offered him a trial at first, and he was so good they gave him a 5-year contract. Chelsea and United have strong links in Norway and are weighing up an approach for the summer. However, with word spreading of their interest, Swiss sides Basel and Young Boys are considering whether to gamble and bid now. The transfer window in Switzerland remains open until February 16th. I'll be honest, guys. This is the sort of signing that should be Strasbourg. This should be the sort of signing that should be Strasbourg. This shouldn't be anything to do with Chelsea, in my opinion. It is a complete and utter waste of time, in my view, to be signing another 19-year-old centre-back when you've got Achimpong, Ansel Mino and Sarr all of the same age. You don't need another one of these guys. If you want to sign them for Strasbourg, if you want Strasbourg to buy them, go and buy them for Strasbourg. But don't buy these guys for Chelsea and then ship them to Strasbourg. That's not happening. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. It is getting farcical. It is getting absolutely ridiculous. You know, you're literally spending money on players who you know damn well are not going to kick a ball for us. They're not going to kick a ball for us, chat. So you're signing these kinds of players who simply will not kick a ball for us. Will not kick a ball. And that's a big problem. That is a big problem. Why Chelsea don't go for someone like Senesi, who's a free agent and they can sell Tosin? Look, Chelsea could look at Senesi in the summer. They could, but I get the feeling that whilst he may be of interest, I don't think that Chelsea, that interest is kind of serious. I don't think that interest is serious enough for them to pursue a move. He's definitely someone they've looked at, but it's not someone who I think they would then move further ahead with and look to do a move for. That's just my opinion on it. That's just my opinion on it. But I don't know. I just don't see, personally for me, I don't see any value in doing this. If you want to sign another young defender, just use an academy player. Genuinely, how much worse are they going to be? They're not, are they? They aren't. Chat, we're almost 100 in the building, only 36 likes. Come on, people. Smash the like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Run it up, run it up. Come on, chat. We're really poor on the likes here. Just a quick close of that live chat. Smash the like. And yeah, it really helps me out. Really helps me out. So please do that. I mean, at this point, I'd take anyone over the current people in charge. I would literally take anyone. I'd rather some of you lot in the chat be the sporting directors than the current individuals that we've got. Because the current individuals that we've got are nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough. Yep, a number of people have said it, and I think more people are waking up to the fact now that we are not going to challenge for the Premier League title recruiting the way that we are right now. It's just not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. It's not possible to do. And there's almost an arrogance from the ownership coming in and thinking that they can achieve something in a way that no one's ever achieved anything before in this league or just in football in general. There's not going to be a Premier League title challenge operating like this. Operating like this, the absolute best you can do is finish third. That's the best you can do in my view. Finish third when you operate like this. That's my opinion. I don't think it's possible to finish any higher than third. I mean, look, Champions League's a little bit different because you just never know. But yeah, look, in terms of league, we're turning into a side that will just be a top 4, top 5 team. And in a good season or an unpredictable season, perhaps like this one, you know, we could scrape, we could salvage, we could get a third place. But ultimately, what does third place mean if you're still 15 plus points off the winners? It's pointless. Genuinely pointless. Genuinely pointless. You know, and you get told about, oh, you know, the targets will change once we get back into the Champions League. They didn't change at all. They didn't change at all. They just do what they always do. Bro, it's so easy. Like, this is what people don't realize, right? Is that improving players in France at Strasbourg, where there's no pressure, is way easier than improving players in the pressure cooker of the Premier League. Way easier. They're not comparable. They're not comparable. And again, that's just not true. That just isn't true. You know, bro, they haven't got the recruitment right at all since they've been here. We've signed 50 plus players under this ownership, and about 5 or 6 of them are good enough. Yeah, they've been poor this season, but that recruitment, I think, will be all right in the end. That recruitment will work out. Yeah, it's not gone particularly well this season for them at all. But those aren't bad signings. Those aren't bad signings, and those signings will work out. But bro, we've been saying it every window. We need to get the recruitment right, and we consistently do not get the recruitment right. Consistently don't get it right. Maresca has really botched a lot of games this season, bro. That's your opinion, and that's fine. We aren't good enough to challenge for the league. We were never challenging for the league this season because of the summer window that we had. Like, I genuinely don't see any planet in which, after that summer window, how anyone could feel that we could have challenged for the league title with the recruitment and poor signings that we made. I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand how it's possible to think that. But that's just my opinion. Everyone's got their own opinions. But for the money, I don't know if it is a good investment because, you know, again, it's a massive gamble. Just because you have one good season at Bournemouth doesn't mean you're ready to then come and do the same thing at Chelsea. Like, we don't need more projects. We don't need any more projects. We've got enough projects. We need proven quality. Proven quality. 4 or 5 starting level players need to arrive this summer. Otherwise, we're just going to do what we've always been doing. Otherwise, we're just going to do what we've always been doing the last 3 or 4 years, where we might win a cup and we'll be playing for 3rd, 4th, or 5th. That's not good enough. That's not where this football club should be. That's not what this football club is. That's not what this football club is. It's not what a football club is, chat. No, they're not, which is why we have to hope and pray that these players can get to a level that all this numbers and data and all this other stuff is projecting that they can. Bro, we're not good enough. There's a reason why we were dropping points, because the squad players aren't good enough. That's the reality. That's the reality at the end of the day. Look, if you think we could have challenged, that's fine. That's your opinion. I just don't get where that's coming from at all. I really don't, because I can't see it. You know, it's very difficult to win a Premier League title. And you look at the squad, our squad, and you look at how it's built, and you look at the way that we rotate. We obviously rotate more, I think, than any other side in the Premier League. If you're going to rotate, that's fine, but you've got to have top quality players to rotate in. Because if you're rotating and those players coming in are Garnachos and Gittins and Delaps and whatnots, then this is not going to work. This is not going to work if that's the caliber of player that you're bringing in. You know, it's not going to work. It simply isn't going to work. Chat, keep smashing the like button as well for me, please. Run it up, run it up. You know, we're what, 46 likes? Come on, people. I don't know why the likes are so shit today, but guys, we've got to do better than that. The community is much better than this, so make sure you get these likes up. It's really important. Really important, guys. Bro, that's such a simplistic and basic outlook. How many games we had earlier this season where 3 or 4-0 wins were coached in a first half, players missed all our chances, and we lost the game? That's not the manager's fault. That's not the manager's fault. But when we start losing games, yeah, again, bro, you don't apply any context to this. You don't apply any context to this. Because you're speaking as if under Maresca, we couldn't have won these games, that we wouldn't have beaten a shit Crystal Palace. We wouldn't have beaten a West Ham at home. We wouldn't have beaten Wolves away. We wouldn't have beaten whoever else we played, Crystal Palace. Like, let's be. But is that the manager's fault? Or is that we didn't beat Leeds? No. But why didn't we beat Leeds? Because we heavily rotated and the squad players weren't good enough. And now, with the information that had come out, you know, some of the teams that Maresca was picking, it kind of makes sense now, because he probably wasn't in full control of them. No, we didn't beat Ipswich last season. No, we didn't. But I don't know what you want me to say. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, we wouldn't have beaten West Ham at home. Like, what are we doing here? We're acting like we were absolutely shocking. We were fifth place when Maresca left. We were fifth place. What are we doing here? People are acting like we were fucking 10th and we were awful. I'm just so confused by this. Exactly. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's in the dugout, because our issues, as has been said here, are go way beyond any manager in the dugout. The squad's not good enough, as you say, and that's on Clearlake and the director's way of operating. So it doesn't actually matter who's in the dugout, because ultimately there's going to be a ceiling on what they can achieve. There's going to be a ceiling on what they can achieve. There's going to be a ceiling on what they can achieve. And so for me, that's why I don't really care who the manager is, in all honesty, because the issues are far bigger than the manager. It doesn't matter who you've got. If you're not giving a manager the tools to succeed, then it is completely irrelevant who that manager is. But yeah, hey, I mean, what? At the end of the day, look, you know, we're in a good position, and we have to take advantage of this very favourable run of games, very fortuitous run of games. Team, this is it. Team, yes. Squad, quality and depth, no, it isn't. It isn't. Bro, everybody's talking about the directors still and them not being good enough. Bro, just because you win games against the shittest teams in the league doesn't suddenly mean that everything's fine. It doesn't mean that. Just because you beat Wolves and you beat West Ham, well, that suddenly means that everything's fine. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't mean that at all. I'm just confused at how people are viewing things here. Very, very confused. Very, very confused, chat. Bro, this is the point, right? I'm delighted we're on a winning run. We played some good stuff in moments, but I am not getting carried away after beating 5 of the dustiest teams in the league in games that we should be winning. I'm very pleased about it. I'm very pleased we're winning. I'm very pleased with the start the manager's had. Let's not get carried away here, people, because the real lessons about this team and this manager will be found out next month. Will be found out really over the remainder of this season once we get to March. Because once we get to March, those are the big games. Those are the games that we need to stand up and be counted. Arsenal away, Villa away, Everton away, Manchester City and Man United at home. Let's see what we do in those games. That's where we're going to find out how good this team is and how good Liam Rosenior is. We're not finding out anything really by beating Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Wolves. We're not finding anything. We're not finding out anything that we didn't know already about this team by going on this sort of a run. And so that's where I'm just a bit confused, people, to be perfectly honest. Now that's where I'm a bit confused. Delighted we're doing well. Delighted we're winning games. But my real judgment on Rosinia will come from these games coming up. It's not going to come from games against Leeds, games against Burnley, games against West Hams and Crystal Palaces and Wolves. That's not where I'm going to make my judgment on this manager. I'm going to be making my judgment on this manager from March until the end of the season, where we have got some really difficult fixtures. That's where I'm making my judgment. That's where we're going to find out. Again, not true, because yes, Maresca at certain points did make late subs, but let's not act like when we were awful in first halves, there weren't games where he made subs at half time. He absolutely made subs at half time and changed games. I said this the other day, right, as well, on Chelsea Fan TV. Yes, Rossini has been proactive in his game management, but let's just rewind a little bit, because I think some of the praise has been majorly over the top for what he's done. West Ham first half, absolutely diabolical. Some of the worst football we've seen since Clearlake took over, full stop. Are we really giving a manager praise for making 3 changes at half time when you're 2-0 down and taking off 3 terrible performers in Garnacho, Hato and Badiashile, and putting on Joao Pedro, Cucurella and Wesley Fofana? Is that like every single person in the stadium would have done that? Every single person watching on the TV would have done that. It was the obvious thing to do. Yes, he did it, and it changed the game. Great. Well done, you. Fantastic. Pleased. But let's not go over the top with praise for basic decisions. Basic decisions. I'm delighted the manager's winning. I'm delighted we're winning games. But basic in-game management, and I'm seeing people making out like this is the second coming of Pep, that this is genius stuff. He's doing what I'd expect anyone with any half-decent level of competency. No, he wouldn't have done. No, he wouldn't. In some games, yes, I'm not denying that. But we've seen many occasions where he was making subs at half-time, after 55 minutes, after 60 minutes or whatever. You know, Rossini has done well. He's done well. But let's not make it out like this is the second coming of Mourinho, because he made the most obvious half-time substitutions imaginable after a horrendous performance in the first half against West Ham. Napoli, for example, the same subs. What he's getting credit for putting Cole Palmer on at half-time and getting credit for going to a back 4 and bringing Chalobah on when his back 3 setup was diabolical in the first half. This is what I'm saying, is that he's done well, and I'm happy he's doing well, and I'm pleased with the start that he's made. But I'm just seeing people going way over the top with their praise, in my opinion, for things that are very, very basic. Things that are obvious to do, things that are just basic in terms of changes and changes to a system and in-game management. Bro, you have to go back and look at the games. Go back and look at the games. I'm not going to go back and look at it for you. Go back and look at the games. I've been at games where he's done that. I'm not saying he did it all the time, because he didn't. He did. But all I'm saying is that, in my opinion, we need to reserve judgment or full judgment until we've played some decent teams. That's all I'm saying. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out more about Rossinia and this team from the games coming up. Because there's big games coming up, chat. Big games coming up. Big games. And I want people to keep the same energy. I want people to keep the same energy. The amount of people that I saw blaming Maresca for games we didn't win when the attack missed chance after chance after chance. All I'm saying is keep that same energy for this manager. Keep that same energy for this manager. When we drop points and lose games, because we will, and if we drop points and lose games because of a lack of quality and players missing their chances, I want you to blame the manager just like you did when Maresca was in charge. Just like you did when Maresca was in charge. Keep the same energy. I'll be very interested to see how people act, because the same people that were blaming Maresca for players missing chances to win us the game that we don't win, bring that same energy. Bring that same energy to Rosinia. That's all I'm saying. Bring the same energy for this manager as well. Just be consistent with what you're saying. That's all I'm saying, guys. Exactly. Get us Champions League football. Do the job that you were brought in to do, and then that is a job well done. That would be a job well done, in my opinion. A job well done. But until then, I'm pleased with the start. Made a good start, but I'm fully reserving judgment. I'm reserving judgment. I will reserve judgment until I've seen him win big football matches, because this run for me, whilst we need to get the points on the board, this is not really telling me an awful lot about this team, about this manager, about what's going on. That's all I'm saying. But let's go through. Let's throw it forward to tonight's game then, chat. Let's throw it forward to tonight's game. What are we saying about tonight's game? How are we all feeling? How are we all feeling, chat, ahead of tonight's game? Because Leeds are in good form. Obviously, Leeds are a better side at home than they are away from home. But we've seen in our home games, chat, we've seen in our home games under Maresca, certainly under Rosinia as well, that our performances have been poor. Certainly in the first half of games, the performances have been awful. Brentford, we were awful in that first half, and we didn't deserve to win that game, but we did. The West Ham was diabolical. Paphos performance was poor. So yeah, look, it's 3 points, no excuses. It's 3 points, no excuses. 100% it is. Of course it is. But at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, right, I need to see more of a complete performance. We need to see more. We need to see a similar first half to what we saw against Wolves. Coming out, getting a couple of goals, putting the game to bed, basically, and then you can afford to drop off a little bit, sit off a little bit in that second half. So that's what I'm looking to see. I don't want to see a diabolical first half showing. You know, we got to try and put this game to bed in the first half, if we can, or certainly get it done and dusted, put to bed on the hour mark. It's going to be a difficult game. There are no easy games in the Premier League. No easy games in the Premier League whatsoever. And Leeds will pose their own threats. Calvert-Lewin is in good form. Calvert-Lewin's in very good form. Defensively, they've not been bad with what Rodon and is it Ethan Ampadu as well. Look, a clean sheet for the defence would be optimal, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I just want us to win. If we can win and get a clean sheet, fantastic. If we don't get the clean sheet, the win's much more important at the end of the day. The win is much more important. It's that simple. It is a win at all costs, chat. It is a win at all costs. We must. No excuses. A chance to make it 5 wins in a row. A chance to make it 5 wins in a row. But Leeds will pose a threat. We're going to have to be on it. The attack, they need to be on it as well. We've got, of course, we've got the players to win this game. You know, we've got the quality to win this game. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. We saw what happened when we played Bournemouth at home. We saw what happened in the first half of the game against West Ham at home. Chat, we're only on 64 likes, over 100 people in the building. Smash this like button, get it up to 70, 80 likes, people. This should be well on its way to 100 likes by now. So please do run it up. Subscribe if you're new, all of that good stuff. But yeah, run these likes up, people. Run these likes up. You lot know exactly what to do. So make sure you run it up. We've got to make sure we're defending. We've got to make sure we're defending well from corners as well. That's important. Our set piece defending has not been great. It hasn't been great, our set piece defending. You know, it's something that we definitely need to improve upon. We have to improve upon our set piece defending. But let's bring a team up. Let's bring up the lineup and let's go through a team that we want to see for this game tonight. Right, let's bring this up now. So it's obviously going to be Mr. Robert Sanchez in goal. Right back, I mean, look, Reece James apparently is fit now, but he was ill yesterday. So I don't know what's going on. So I would go Reece, but we don't know if he's fully fit. So let's go with... We'll go with Gusto, but if Reece is fit, obviously I'd start him. But we'll stick Gusto in because we're not fully sure if Reece is available. You've got Hull coming up on Friday, which I don't think Wes will play in. So I would play Wes in this game as well. And go for Fafana and Chalobah with Cucurella at left back. That's the back four that I'd go with. That's the same back four that started with that we started with against Wolves. I don't see any need. I don't see any need for this back four to change, chat. I don't see any need for there to be a change to the back four. Big up to you for the donation, brother. Is that confirmed to have happened? I mean, I knew there was some sort of situation going on, you know, family matter. I didn't know if that had definitely happened. Must have missed that. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you. Which Douay? What, Desiree Douay or what, the Douay at Strasbourg? Bro, Wes is not going to... We're not going to be saving Wes for Hull. So you play him in this game And then Wes won't play against Hull. Yeah, I think this is the case. I don't think that Josh will play. Josh will play against Hull. I don't see Ashimpong playing this game. Big up to you, brother. Yeah, absolutely has. Absolutely has. We've either been decent in the first half and good and diabolical or not so good second half, or generally speaking, the pattern has been we've been awful first half and we've picked up decent performances in the second half. In the midfield, we're going to go. I'm going to stick with the same pivot. Caicedo and Santos. My only concern is, chat, is that with Lavia and Asugu injured and not looking like they're that close to a return, my only concern, one of my concerns is that Caicedo and Enzo are playing so much football. So much football. And we just haven't got an opportunity to rest them. Maybe we rest them against we rest them against Hull, but I don't know. Like they are playing too much football, and that's something that needs to be monitored, and that's something that we absolutely do need to keep an eye on. We 100% need to keep an eye on stuff like that. You know, we've got to keep an eye on it because there could be a situation where these guys do eventually get run into the ground and something happens, you know? Yeah, but only for like a couple of days. Only for like a couple of days. So yeah, there's no way that he's ready. No way that I mean, look, Lavia could make the squad against Hull, maybe, but again, I think we're still a few weeks away from seeing him return. No, I don't think so. But I'll go Santos and Caicedo. On that right-hand side, you go Palmer for me. You then play Enzo in the 10. And I would play Esteval on the left. Esteval didn't play at all against Wolves. Neto wasn't awful, but wasn't great. Is not in great form. Is not playing particularly well. I think in a home game like this against Leeds, you don't really need Neto. You don't really need Neto, in my view. No, Cole's not out for the Leeds game. No, you don't need Neto, in my view. So, yeah, that's the team that I'd be looking at going with, chat. That's the team that I'd look at going with. But yeah, look, we'll have to see, chat. We will have to wait and see. But that's what I would go with. And then obviously you would have João Pedro. You would have João Pedro leading the line. If Santos is not risked because of his ankle, even though Rocinha said he's fine, he's been in training. If Santos were not to be risked, you drop Enzo back into the pivot, bring Palmer into the 10, Esteval right, Neto left. That's what I'd go with if that was to be the case. And obviously as well, you could if Reece is fit, you bring Reece in over Gusto, in my opinion. But look, whatever team Chelsea put out, that is more than good enough to get a result against Leeds. More than good enough to get a result against Leeds. We shouldn't be concerned about Leeds. We shouldn't be concerned about getting a result against Leeds United. We really shouldn't, chat. There's no reason for us to be. No reason for us to be. Bro, Josh won't play in a pivot. I'd be surprised if Josh played tonight. Well, certainly not from the start anyway. Certainly not from the start. I wouldn't expect him to. I wouldn't expect him to start in this game. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that though. Who knows? Who knows? But that's my team. That's what I'd go with. And we will see. I honestly don't think Sarr does play tonight. I don't think he does. If Sarr's going to play, no, Neto's not out for the Leeds game. The only players that are missing are Colwell, Lavia, and Asugu. I don't think Sarr will play. If Sarr's going to play, Sarr will play against Hull. That's a game that I can see Mamadou Sarr playing in. Chat, we're over 100 in it. Let's get this to 80 likes. We're on 66 right now. Run it up, run it up. And please hit the subscribe button as well if you are new round here. We're 15 away from 20.2k. So if you're new round here, you've not hit the subscribe button, make sure you do so. Make sure you do so. Well, what would you go with? What formation would you go with? I think the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3, however you want to refer to it as, that for me gives us our best chance. That for me gives us our best chance. Yeah, I mean, Lavia and Asugu this season is it has been a nightmare. It has been an absolute nightmare. There's no escaping that. 4-1-2-1-2. He's going to play a front two. Bro, they're just program notes. They're just program notes. Yeah. The best pairing by an absolute mile is Trevor and Fofana at this point in time. Without a shadow of a doubt. Easily the best pairing. Easily the best pairing. Yeah, it's not even up for debate. Not even up for debate, chat. No, Reece is fit, but apparently he was ill yesterday. Tossing back in training, but he'll be in the squad probably. He's not going to play. I'll be stunned if he started. I'd be very, very surprised if Tosin started, but you just don't know what these guys are going to do. That's the thing. You do not know what these guys are going to do or what they're capable of. That's the only problem. But yeah, look, Tosin will be available, I presume, for this game. He's been back in training. He's returned to training. So I imagine he'll be in the squad. I imagine he'll be in the squad. But yeah, that's the team that I'm going with. And my score prediction, chat. My score prediction. I'm going to go for another 3-1 win. I'm going to go for another 3-1 win. Yeah, another 3-1 win I'm going for. Yeah, I think we'll concede. I don't see us keeping the clean sheet, but I think we'll get the 3 points though. What are you lot saying in the chat? Yeah, I'll be at the game. 3-1 Chelsea, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. I presume you're joking. Leeds are much better at home than they are away. I expect us to win. Very, very simple. Very simple. I expect us to win. Mental that people that this guy thinks Fofana and Trevor bad. Mad. Absolutely mad. Look, Calvert-Lewin could well score. I'm not ruling out Calvert-Lewin scoring. I think it'll be 3-1. I think it will be 3-1. I think it'll be 3-1. No, bro, mate, it's not. Let me have a look out the window. No, not raining. It's a bit cloudy, but no, there's no rain. No rain in London at the moment. I mean, it could well come later on, but it's right now. It hasn't rained all day. Hasn't rained all day, which means that it will rain on the way to the game and will rain after the game. That's generally what that means. But right now, not raining. Right now, not raining, but that could easily change. 4-0. Trev, the past couple of games, a different guy. Yeah, Trev's been, not even just the past couple of games, Trev's been really good at the moment. Trev's been very good recently. Very, very good. And I think people need to start putting more respect on him. I think people do genuinely need to start putting more respect on Trev. I really do think that, guys. Really believe that more respect needs to be put on Trev. That's what I'm saying, guys. That's what I'm saying. Hmm. Trev really, all right, at the start of the season, he did make a few mistakes and a few errors, but Trev really's been, for time, large parts of this season, Trev's been our best defender. Trev's been our best defender, chat. Definitely been our best defender. Without doubt. Without doubt, been our best defender. And Trev consistently gets disrespected by certain people in the fan base for no reason. For no reason. For no reason that I can see, anyway. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. People can think what they want to think, and they're entitled to think whatever they want to think. But some opinions are just ridiculous that I'm seeing. Yes, all good, bro. All good. Again, he never said Josh was our best centre back. Yeah, mate, I'd put him in the World Cup squad. Not saying he should start, but there's not 4 or 5 centre backs that are better than Chalobah. Chalobah should be in the World Cup squad, 100%. You know, I personally don't think he will be, but he absolutely should be. He's playing week in, week out for Chelsea. He's doing very well. He should be in the World Cup squad. He should be. And he would deserve to be as well. Do I see him going? I don't see him going to the World Cup, but he should be going to the World Cup. So, look, if he continues his good form, then it's going to be pretty difficult to leave him out. It is going to be pretty difficult to leave him out if he continues this form. He got called up last summer, made his debut in a friendly against Senegal. But yeah, he should be in the team. He should be in the team. But let's see, guys. Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Tariq George made his debut for Everton at the weekend. Made his debut against Fulham, and they won 2-1. He come off the bench. No, Gay's not going to be left out. That'd be ridiculous. But yeah, you know, it's Trevor. If he keeps playing the way that he's playing, absolutely should be in the squad, 100%. Fofana's better than Ashimpong. Fofana's definitely better than Ashimpong. 100% better. But yeah, let's have a look what else is going on. Let's have a look what else is going on, chat. Let's have a look. But yeah, Trev's been Mr. Reliable. 100% he has. Right, I'll have a quick look if anything else is going on. And then we will leave it there. It's not been as much going on today, guys. I would expect so. I would expect so. But yeah, anyway, chat. We are going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that has tuned in this afternoon. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all. So make sure you smash up the likes, guys. Subscribe if you're new round here. Enjoy the game tonight, wherever you're watching it. Enjoy the game tonight, wherever you're watching it. And yeah, let's hope for 3 points. Let's hope for a 5th Premier League win in a row. Match reaction will be out tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. as usual, UK time. Make sure you tune into that one, chat. There'll be some clips on the game tonight as well, so that'll go up on the channel. So stay tuned for all of that. But yeah, thanks for the support, guys. Smash the like, subscribe, run it up, and yeah, enjoy the game tonight. Let's hope for the win, and I will catch you lot tomorrow. Up the Chelsea, and we're out of here. Love.